Hi guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create an Azure function and deploy it onto Azure. So it's really a simple process. So the first thing you're going to want to do is I'm going to show you basically how to create an Azure function using VS Code. So you can either do it on Azure itself or you can do it on VS Code on your local machine. So I'm going to be using VS Code right now. And I will show you how to create a simple Azure function. And then I will show you how to deploy that Azure function onto your Azure account. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to install the Azure function extensions. So in Visual Studio Code, so I'm assuming you're using Visual Studio Code. So in Visual Studio Code, open extensions. So open extensions and search for Azure Functions. So just search for Azure Functions. And this is the extension you're going to need. So go ahead, click on it and click install and give it some time. Right, so now that we have it installed, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to restart your Visual Studio Code just to get everything in place. So just go ahead and just exit and restart. And once you restart, the next thing you're going to want to do is you can actually sign in right now. So now that you have Azure, now I've also installed storage, but for now we're not going to need that. We're just going to be using Azure Functions. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to actually want to create an Azure function project. So go ahead and inside the Azure Functions, click on Create Function. So it will prompt you for a new project. So go ahead and start a new project. Yes. And your JavaScript, we're going to be using Node.js. So click on JavaScript. And Azure Functions v3. I'm going to use v2 for now, sorry. So Azure Functions v2, and select the template. Just hold on, just give it some time. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and select HTTP trigger. So I'm going to be using a basic HTTP request to just verify the function. So go ahead and click on that. Provide a function name, and I'm just going to give it as Azure function. Right. Okay, click enter. And authorization level is function. And hold on, just give it some time. It's going to create a new project. Right. So as we can see, it has created a new project for us. So this basic project is, again, it's your local function. And within that, you have the Azure function. So inside your Azure function, now this is the function name, and bindings for it we can set later on. So as we can see now, we have a sample project over here with our simple Azure function. So this is again very simple. It's just a basic HTTP trigger method, and it gets a hello and a name query, both names and first name. Okay. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set bindings. So what are bindings? Basically, bindings allow us to attach different resources to our function. So you get two types of bindings. So you get input bindings and output bindings. So in order to set bindings for now, we're just going to have to modify the host.json. So again, this is not a big issue. I've already got it copied. So go ahead, I'm going to paste it here. So as you can see, initially it was just version 2.0. You're going to have to add an extension bundle. And in that extension bundle, it's going to contain, this is going to be your binding. So go ahead and save it, and this should be your binding. So later on you can add input and output bindings, so you can expand your functions by adding input and output bindings. So again, it depends on your programming language, but for now we're not going to need input and output bindings. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip that bit, and I'm going to continue. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. So now that we've created our function, this is the basic JS for the function. So you can modify it accordingly. I mean, you can use your own function, or you can set this accordingly. For example, you may need parameters to define, for example, for image processing or training a model or something, for etc., or performing arithmetic functions. But in this case, I'm just going to keep it like this, just to show you how to get this onto Azure. So this is going to be my Azure function. So I'm going to show you how to publish it onto Azure. So basically, when you you create a new function, it should have asked you to log in. So go ahead and it should show you, sign into Azure. So after you sign in, you're going to have to deploy it to the function app. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign into Azure. Okay, I can close this page. Right, cool. So I have signed in, and I'm going to have to deploy to the function app. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Again, you can modify this any way you want, but then it actually depends on your application. So if you're not signed in, sign in, and then go ahead and select a subscription. Okay guys, so I've just checked out my subscriptions, and it seems that I have no subscriptions for now. So I guess my account isn't the free tier, it's actually the paid version. So for now I'm not gonna set up a subscription, but I will show you how to get your subscription. So normally when you create an Azure account, you should get a free tier. So it's either 12-month, or if you're a student, you can get a free tier. So you should have a subscription. You should have a default subscription. So when you set up this application, when you try to deploy this app, it should show you a subscription. So once you see your subscription, you should be able to select the subscription, and then it will ask you for a set of information. So it will ask you, for example, common stuff like the name of the app and stuff like that. So you'll have to answer that. And then after you install this, after you deploy your application, after you deploy your Azure function onto Azure, you're going to have to log into your Azure account, and you can actually go into Azure Functions online and copy the function URL. So your function that you just created now, so in this case it's this function, but you can modify it accordingly. So this function will have a URL after you deploy it. So then you can get that URL, and then you can invoke it on your other applications for specifically. Or you can either run it locally, but I think for the purpose of serverless programming, we're going to want to have our application or the function on the Azure website. So after you deploy this using your subscription again, for me, I don't have subscription now, but you should have, if you have a free tier, you should have a subscription. So after you deploy this, you should be able to get this URL from your Azure login credentials online, and you can invoke that URL, and you can use this function on your other applications. So that's all for today, guys. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial.